I belong here. I feel proud of leading a team of chefs that I can see that are giving me the best every day.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. We don't talk about Latin American cuisine much in Australia because in truth it isn't very prevalent in the culinary landscape, but today's guest, however, is flying the Latin American flag high and garnering a lot of attention. Diego Cardenas is the head chef of Pincho Disco in Collingwood, Melbourne. Diego, how are you?
Good, Anthony. Just getting ready for service today. Just excited to be here with you.
It's good to have you on the show. I know you're in the thick of it for another busy night. It's been really busy, your restaurant. How are things at the moment?
Actually, really good. So we have done some specials and some offering. But luckily, the last 1.5 years since we opened, it's been busy. I mean, it's a constant challenge every day, but then we're busy. Obviously, we want to be busier. But then I think we're doing amazing.
Tell us a little bit about the restaurant and what you're doing there.
Well, the restaurant is like Latin American food, so we use traditional techniques, but obviously we give it a twist, so more approachable to Australian customers.
Yeah.
But obviously we don't being too far from what we Latin Americans are used to eat.
Tell us sort of why you've gone down that path sort of to make it appealing to Australians and some examples of the food that sort of stars on the menu.
So we do food from all the way from Mexico to Argentina. So we do some aguachiles, which is some Mexican ceviche style. We also do Peruvian ceviches, but we also have like the grilled. Just the grill has an important part in our menu. So right now, let's say in Latin American food, there is a lot of intestines and beef hearts and kidneys and all of that. So we're not using that at the moment. So we're just approaching, let's say, in a easiest and friendly way for the customers. So, and something you Australians are more familiar with. So let's say you're used to eat ceviches, raw seafood, and all of that. So we're using that method to approach you guys, but then obviously it's challenging, but I think all the experience has been amazing. The feedback that we have got from customers has been amazing. So every time that we do specials, when I can use those things that I told you, everyone seems to be really interested. So that's actually really good.
What's been some of the real successes of the dishes that has surprised you that people have really got into?
Let's say sweetbreasts. So sweetbreads is an Argentinian dish. The way they do it, they marinate and then they cook it and then grill it. I wasn't expecting that Australians love that, but actually when we put it on a special and we have it just for a night or whatever, we sold out. So it's actually impressive that you guys are actually open to try new stuff.
You mentioned the restaurant's been pumping along for 1.5 years now. How did the gig come about for you?
I was ready for the opportunity. So some people might say it was just lucky. Some people might say like lucky means when you're ready for the opportunity. And that's what happened with me. So I know some suppliers and I always have had good relationship with them. So one of them just invited me to a fundraising in some random restaurant. And then, I joined them, I went there, and then I had dinner with them. And then I met someone there, which was Jake First, who is the culinary director of Kikon Group, the owners of Pincho Disco. And I introduced myself and was like, hey, Jake, nice to meet you. I'm Diego, I'm from Colombia. And then he was like, okay, man, like, we're just thinking about this new idea that we have in mind. Let me know you're interested in new opportunities. And I was like, okay, easy, I'll let you know. Then obviously I wasn't looking for a new job because I already have a job somewhere else. And then weeks after, he called me, hey, mate, sorry, I got your job from this supplier. I got your phone from this supplier. So I'm just checking if you want to catch up to discuss new new opportunities, and then we went from there. So basically, I went for an interview with him or a meeting, and then we talk about each other. We tried our food, and then we say like, okay, man, like it seems that this is the kind of restaurant that I want to be involved. This is the kind of project that is challenging for me. That is the kind of challenging that I'm expecting at this moment in my career. So let's do it, and then that's how we started.
What's it been like for you, sort of celebrating your heritage in a way on the plate in Australia?
It's actually very good. It is something I feel proud about. You cannot see much Latin American food in here, and I also want to change some of the perspective and the thoughts that people have about Latin Americans. So everything that you see in the movies, Netflix, Narcos, and all of that, this is not who we are as a culture. We are way more than that. So in every dish and in every experience that we have in this restaurant, I always try to show who we are. Who we are as a community, who we are as a culture, who we are as people. We're just friendlier people. We're just happy people. We just want to show our culture the best of us.
Well, I want to dive into that rich cultural background that you do possess. Take us back to when you were young. Whereabouts did you grow up, and what sort of role did food play for you?
Well, I grew up in Bogota, Colombia, the capital city, which is high in the mountains. Since I have memory, I always enjoy cooking. Because when I was a child, my mom wasn't healthy enough, and my dad was a hard worker guy. So they used to send me because to my grandmother's house because someone need to take care of me. So I used to spend my holidays with them on my grandmother's from my mom's side and on my grandfather from my dad's side. So they used to send me there on holidays, and I used to spend time with them. So from my mother's side, family is from the coast of Colombia, from the Caribbean. So since I was young, I remember just, I don't know, making fresh coconut milk, cooking fresh fish, filleting, grilling, frying, coconut rice, all of that, sweets. But then on my dad's side, which is in another region, I used to remember doing, I don't know, a stuffed sucking pig or tamales, which is similar to the Mexican that you might know, but just different feelings. Arepas, which is kind of corn dough. That's the memories that I have from my childhood. So I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time with my grandparents, and I think that's where I got the love for food.
Is there any sort of standout dish or indeed feast from your youth that you look back on fondly that you can share with us?
I must say the stuffed sucking pig that I just mentioned before, which is called lechona, which is a slow cook in the wood fire oven sucking pig that we used to put some the dry piece inside, some more of the meat, and then a lot of marinade, a lot of spices, some beer, some parsley, and they just slow cook that overnight. So it's bring me memory from my childhood, and it's what I used to eat in every single party or Christmas time when I used to be with my grandparents.
Is that a dish that you've been able to translate into the restaurant setting here in Australia?
We haven't done it so far here. We're just thinking to do it in this new menu that we're launching soon. So far, I haven't done it, but yeah, I'm obviously really excited to put it in place in here.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Tell us about sort of your first inclinations of becoming a chef. When did you sort of think of that as an avenue for a career?
Well, I always knew it, but also I remember when I was young, my dad used to take me fishing, me and my brother. So we used to spend hours fishing. We used to spend hours near the river, and I remember my dad teaching me how to fillet a fish, how to clean a fish, the best way to cook it. And then I was like, this seems to be really nice. I feel comfortable doing this. Is like even though I come from a mathematician family, my dad is a mathematician, my brother is an engineer, and I think I'm really good with maths. I feel that this is good. I feel this is nice. I feel that I can be free doing this. But then, obviously, having the pressure of coming from a mathematician family, I started studying mechanical engineer because I was good in maths, and obviously the pressure that I felt from my parents. But then when I was 17 years old, I got cancer, which obviously was a sad experience, but also was the most amazing experience that I've had in a weird way, because that's when everything changed. So, being in recovery and everything, I told my parents, like, even if I love engineer, I love studying, I always wanted to be a chef. And they just say, like, like, just do whatever make you happy. I think life is once, you only live once. So if you think you want to be a chef, you're going to have all our support. And then they did the best they could. And then I feel happy for the decision that I made.
Having cancer at such a young age must have been incredibly challenging. Take us back to that period of time. You mentioned that it changed your perspective. Tell us a bit about that and how much you changed your perspective.
I think when you get cancer, being that young, you're not really conscious of what's going on. I think just seeing your family suffering near you is the only thing you can see, but you are not really conscious of what's happening. So obviously I got diagnosed when I was 17. I did the surgery and everything, and then treatments, and then one day the doctors came to the room and they told me the same way the cancer came, just disappeared. So they said, like, we did the best we could. We don't know what kind of miracle just happened. We don't know what just happened. But after a few months or years, everything disappeared. You have nothing. So, mate, I think you're a miracle. So I think those words changed all the perspective that we had in life. And then I was like, I just need to do something that made me feel really happy. And then I just remember those early stages when I was cooking with my grandparents, with my dad, when I was, I don't know, cooking a surprise dinner for my mom's birthday. And I felt like, when was the last time that I felt really happy? And it was those moments when I was sharing a meal, when I was cooking for someone, when I was seeing someone enjoying something that I just cooked. And then I was like, I just need to be a chef. This is the only place that I feel safe enough. This is the only place that I think makes me truly happy, regardless of what's going on, regardless of how many hours I need to be inside the kitchen. This is the only place that I feel safe. This is the only place that makes me feel happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, tell us about early on in your career. Where did you sort of get your foot in the door, and sort of who are the people that sort of really helped you along your way in the early years?
Well, so I started my career in Colombia, in Bogota, but then once I finished, I decided to move to Peru. So I was like, it was easy, it was close to Colombia, and I was like, I think I have to go there. And I always love raw seafood, fish, and all this kind of food. So, and Peruvian food seems to be very interesting at that moment. So I was like, I should go over there. So then I moved to Peru, and then obviously I met a lot of interesting chefs, a lot of amazing people, but it opened my mind. I was like food is not only what I have done for the last 17 years or 20 years. Food is way more than that. And so that opened my mind, and that opened my mind to travel around the world. So then I spent a few years then in Peru. I met some talented chefs, and then moved to Mexico for a few months, and then ended up in Spain. Spain is a different. It was the first time that I was in Europe, so that's opened my mind completely to new experiences, new ingredients that I never saw before. And then I met what is today some of the best chefs that I know. I did my apprenticeship with Nacho Manzano at Casa Marcial in Asturias. That stage was 2 Michelin star restaurant. Now it's 3 Michelin star restaurant. But obviously that experience was good and was challenging.
What did you take away from your time in Spain? What sort of impact did it have on you as a person and a chef?
Well, the experience was really good. It was challenging because when I was doing my apprenticeship in a few restaurants, I didn't get paid €1. So basically, I was doing my apprenticeship, working for free, but the only thing they gave me was accommodation. But then once again, accommodation. I was living in a 3 room apartment, one toilet with 11 guys, and it was I don't know weeks when I couldn't take a shower for 4 days, 5 days because I missed my rosa.
Where did you go from Spain?
From Spain, and we went back to Colombia. And then I started working with Harry's son. So Harry's son, basically, he's my mentor, and he's one of the best chefs that I have met. He's recognized as the best chef in Colombia. He's been in this industry for so many years. So in Latin America, he's a well-respected chef. I worked with him for a few years. I did basically all the sections with him, from wok to grill to pans to everything. And then after that, I moved into a role when I was executive chef um, for a. It wasn't a restaurant, but I was still doing food. So I was working like in a factory doing food that was sold in different like restaurants, in different chains of restaurants. So I was working, developing recipes, developing new dishes for this company. And they used to send those dishes from the factory to those stores. And that was my job for a few years then. In Colombia until, well, I think then I met someone, and then obviously I met someone, I fell in love, and I was like, what are we gonna do? And then she said, like, like I used to live in Australia, so I think we should go there. I think you should move with me. And then I just sold everything that I had at the moment, and then I came here.
Wow, that's a huge leap of faith. What were you surprised by Australia when you got here? Was it different than you expected?
It was, I don't know, I felt weird. I was excited to be here, but I knew that I was a good chef, so I need to start working as soon as possible. Then I got a job in it was kind of Mexican restaurant, because also my English wasn't that good at that moment. It's still not good, but at that moment was really bad. So I got a job in this Mexican venue. Um, but it wasn't Mexican at all. So basically, I was thrown in the kitchen. I was like, "Hey, man, this is the menu. This is so we want to do tacos, we want to do burritos, we want to do this." And I was like, "Well, this is Tex-Mex. This is not truly Mexican." And I was like, "Do you have recipes for anything?" And I was like, "No, you are the chef. That's why we hire you." And I was like, "Okay, when do we open?" And they said, like, "Okay, we open in 2 days." And I was like, "Okay, fine." And we also want to have Mexican paella. And I was like, okay, what's Mexican paella? Because no one has told me to do Mexican paella. I was like, well, if you're Latin American, you should know how to do Mexican paella. I was like, well, paella is from Spain. Mexican don't do paella. But let me see what I can do. I was like, okay, here is your rice. And they gave me basmati rice. So basically, I was doing Mexican paella with basmati rice. But but I needed to work. So I was like, well, so being executive chef in Colombia, being a chef in Colombia, being around the world, but I needed to work. So I was desperate to get some money because living here wasn't easy and wasn't cheap. And my English wasn't good. So I was like, gotta do whatever I gotta do. So it wasn't good as a thought. It was hard. It was, I don't know, feeling that you are starting again from the bottom. It was challenging, but then I was ready to do whatever was needed. So ended up doing Mexican paella with basmati rice. I wasn't expecting to do that, but it was good.
How did you find your feet in Melbourne prior to Pincho?
Yes, yes. So I was working at Waterfront, then from Waterfront, then COVID came. It was a disaster because I was on a student visa at that stage. So I was on a student visa, so I didn't get any support from the government for the first year. So obviously, once again, it was hard. So I was getting support from my family, from my partner, using all the savings that I had at that moment. Um, but it was hard. Hospitality was struggling here, so it wasn't easy to get a job. And then maybe after the first year, I got a job at Copycat in Amsterdam, which is like a sort of wine bar. And then I worked there, met amazing people, basically really talented chefs. And that basically it felt like a place that I belonged. So I felt really happy working there. And then I met one of my best friends, like that I have right now. Then from Copycat, I moved to a head chef role in Royal Saxon in Richmond. And then when I was there, I so this the well, my best friend, the guy that I used to work at Copycat, he went with me to the Saxon. We said like, okay, we're gonna change the food here. We're gonna do everything different. And then until this opportunity came. So when we got this opportunity, I told him, hey mate, I think we should move together to Pincho, and then he came with me. So basically, I have been working with the sous chef for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So I feel happy enough to be not just only working with a really talented sous chef, but also my best mate.
Tell us a little bit about the perception that you want to change in regards to the food of where you grew up and the region as well. And you sort of highlighted ceviche as one of the dishes in that. Can you tell us sort of, what you want to share with people and the perceptions that you want to change?
Well, so Latin American food can be also fun. So we are fun, we are friendly people, we're colorful. So I want to show them that we're more than whatever perspective you guys have from us. We're friendly, we're hospitality people, we're colorful, we like to party, we like to smile. So in every single dish that we have here, you can see that in there. You can see a little bit of chili, you can see a little bit of sweet, a little bit of citrus, a little bit of color, a little bit of textures. This is who we are. We're colors, we're textures, we're happiness. So, and also, obviously, from my experience in Peru and also from my childhood when I used to fillet fish and clean fish with that. So I'm trying to bring all those dishes into here. So chon-casting, the best technique that I have, but also a lot of traditional ingredients. So really there is going to be some different when we try to get some traditional ingredients. Let's say yellow chili from Peru. Over here, I'm not lucky enough to get it fresh, but I get the paste. So, but I'm trying to do the ceviche as traditional as we can, obviously with a twist. So today we have one of them special, which is the a Peruvian snapa ceviche with some tiger's milk. Tiger's milk is the citrus sauce that cooks the fish through when you make ceviche. So, but we're adding some passion fruit and some burnt orange that I burnt in the wood fire oven. So we keep those traditional recipes, those traditional ingredients, but I'm giving them a slightly twist.
Given the sort of lack of Latin American representation in Australia, what's it like for you in the kitchen and with your brigade and getting chefs and training them in that style of cookery? Does it have challenges?
Well, I think Australian community is open to try everything now. Like, you guys have tried a lot of Japanese food, a lot of Chinese food, like a lot of seafood. And then Obviously, if you go to Peru, you will find two main influences. One is Chinese, and the other one is Japanese. So you will have Chifa food, which is a mixture between Chinese and Peruvian, and you will get Nikkei food, which is Japanese and Peruvian. So basically, you guys are familiar with some of those flavors and some of those techniques, but we're just adding new flavors and new colors and new textures to that one. So it's not too far from the food you can get over here, just different flavors. So it hasn't been that challenging, but it's fun to see the reactions of everyone, because it's like, I have tried this. It's very familiar. It tastes similar to something that I just tried before, but I don't know what it is, and that's the reaction we get.
It's interesting that you're saying how busy it is for the last year and a half, when a lot of restaurants have struggled for customers during this sort of tough period of time. What do you think it is about what you guys are doing that's so appealing to so many?
Well, so what we try to offer over here is not just good food, the experience. So from the moment you enter the door, you will feel like you're in a different place. You will feel very welcoming. The front of house team that we have is amazing. Like, I think we have been lucky enough to find an amazing team at all levels. So from the person who is at the door, who give you the most amazing welcoming, to the person doing cocktails at the bar. Like, everyone is enjoying their job. Everyone is proud of whatever we do. So you can feel that. You can feel that from the moment you get into the venue. So we try just to offer not just food, but a different experience. So the moment you come here, you feel like, it's fun to be here. It's worth it. Food is delicious. Customer service is amazing. And also sometimes we do some special. We do kind of festivals. We do Brazilian night. We do some samba. So we have tried to do those things, and then we can see how people are reacting to that, and it's been positive.
Well, it's amazing what you're doing there, Diego. What do you love about what you do?
I love working with the people that I'm working right now. I feel like I'm working with a group of friends. So basically, coming here, feel like I belong here. I feel proud of leading a team of chefs that I can see that are giving me the best every day. So when I got this job, I start calling people that I used to work in the past. So basically, I call a lot of people that I met before, and everyone came to join me in this adventure. So I can feel how they know what to expect from me, and I know what to expect from them. So it was pretty easy. So basically, I enjoy showing who we are. I enjoy showing a little bit of myself. And also, when I think about hard moments that I have had in the past or in this industry, I remember all the effort that my parents had done. I remember that that being here is the result of all the sacrifices they made when they were young. All the things they struggle in life, I'm the result of that. So every time that something happens, I just bring those memories back. I just bring my parents back, and it gives me the strength to keep doing this every day.
Well, that's a beautiful sentiment, and an absolute honor to have you on Deep in the Weeds today to hear just a part of your story, and so much more to come. Diego, please keep in touch, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you, Anthony. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. It was actually really nice. Thank you for hosting me. And see you over here whenever you want to come and try the chef table. And then I promise you will have the best experience, and you'll get the chef windows seating.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Diego.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the lives of the incredible people who ply their trade in the food and hospitality sector. Special thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Follow us on Instagram at Deep in the Weeds Podcast, or email us at podcast@deepintheweeds.com.au. Stay safe and be well.